We're fine, thank you.
I'm Evans. What's your name?
My name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
I've not traveled much. I've only been in Kenya, so I might not have an answer to that question yet.
For now, I'll choose Kenya because that's the only thing I know.
What comes into your mind when you hear the name African American?
Their vibrant personalities,
Their music, their culture,
their movies.
Okay, when I think of Black Americans, most people say that Black Americans, these are Black people who went to America, but according to my perspective, it is that Black Americans, these are natives or citizens I can say citizens who moved from Africa due to one or two reasons, the African Americans. Okay, personally, I can say that I love them.
How important do you think it is for Africans and African Americans to connect and learn from each other's experiences? Today we will hear that George Floyd is murdered. Tomorrow we will hear that another black person has been shot by police. So how important do you think the Black American experience can impact how they live? So let's go and start the interview. So make sure you have watched the video and make sure you've subscribed. Let's go. So we've just arrived. This place is called KNT, or Kenya National Theatre, and this was my ball ride. So as always, I brought my camera and I brought my stand. So it's time that I unlock them. Now I think I'll just have to pay the ball ride so that he can go back. When we are finished, I'll tell him to come back. It's around 500 shillings, and that is what we are going to pay. 500 shillings is around, is it $3? Yeah. So I just have to pay $3 right now. Fortunately, I have the $3. Here it is. And yeah. Brother, thanks for the ride. This is for the parking. I appreciate. Okay.
Done.
Yeah, done. So it's time we settle down, we have a rest, and then we look for the people to interview. Yeah.
Chinsangot, Kenya.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What content do you do on YouTube?
We normally do educative video, entertainment videos, cultural videos, and all at once,
and opinionated videos.
Yeah.
What's your favorite African country?
I've not traveled much. I've only been in Kenya, so I might not have an answer to that question yet.
Yes.
Yeah, so the same way she said, we've not traveled much, so for now, I'll choose Kenya because that's the only thing I know.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys aware of African Americans?
Yeah, we know them.
So what comes into your mind when you hear the name African American?
Their vibrant personalities,
their music, their culture,
their movies.
Yeah.
What about their movies?
We love their movies.
So unfortunately, the camera has gone off and it was holding so much good information that Sisters had for us here. Yeah. Now I'll just have to record with my phone. The phone is the one recording. So again, we'll have to start half of the interview. These were the questions. I don't hide you from anything. I do research so that you can have a safe place when you come back to Africa. Yeah, we are doing home videos and outdoors videos. So sisters, you can hold this microphone for me.
Okay.
So here are the set of questions. I'll remove this one. So, in what ways do you believe African diaspora can work together to promote unity and understanding?
Okay, I think since they've been in a different world from Africans, and also they've existed in Africa, they can try to bring that cultural awareness to us so that we can be more open-minded and more receiving towards them.
Yes.
Yeah, the same thing, and also social integration, as we said. When they come to Africa, you shouldn't only mingle with the elite people from you won't get a sense, because you find that the elite people, the idea of, or let's just say ideas in general, have been corrupted. So you need to mingle with other locals, social integration.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the next question. Are there any African American historical figures, artists or activists who have inspired you, and why have they inspired you?
Okay, for me, I usually hear Martin Luther King. Although he's not inspired me, he's just made me respect him because of how he fought for black people and their freedom, But in modern day, I can say I think I respect Taylor Perry. He's not a historical figure, but in modern day I relate to his content and his movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I said Oprah Winfrey until you educated me to the fact that she has scandals and about child trafficking. But prior to knowing that little piece of information, I would say Oprah Winfrey because of the stories about her on social media and media in general, where she overcame abuse, her being a strong black American and being a woman, and creating job opportunities for other people. Yeah, so she's done great things that made me admire her.
Yeah, that's really good. How important do you think it is for African Americans and Africans to connect and learn from each other's experiences? Africans, we have the problem of colonization, and they have the problem of slavery, racism, and police brutality. So yeah.
Okay, for me, I'd say it's important because us integrating creates that awareness. When we integrate, we are able to know what kind of problems they go through, and it also helps us to become open-minded and sensitive to their issues, vice versa.
Yeah. And I think also the most important thing about both African Americans and Africans integrating is that the sense of belonging. I think here in Africa, they'll be able to feel that sense of belonging, because at the end of the day, the ancestry is from Africa, and here we are one people.
Yeah, so long as you're black, you're African.
Yeah. That's true. I appreciate that. So, can you share stories or experiences of how Africans, or rather African Americans, have influenced your life?
Okay, I've not mingled with them in person, so I can't really say they've influenced my life that much, but through the movies that I've watched, I think most Kenyans, the way we talk, it's because of the content we watch from them and other people, So yeah, that's mostly how it has influenced my life.
Me, I can say, speaking in general, as a Kenyan, I would say they've brought social economic growth in that they come here, they invest. We welcome investors in Kenya. That's how we grow as a country. Yeah.
Wow. That's good. So the next one. So what are some of the opportunities and contribution that African Americans bring to African countries?
Contributions and growth.
Yeah. They bring to African countries.
Businesses, investment, through tourism they bring money, and also through cultural integration they help us have broad perspectives
on other cultures.
Through the movies we get to understand a little bit about them. So if they want to migrate and come back to Africa, we have a little bit of understanding of who they are and how they act, so we are a bit tolerant to some of their foreign behavior.
Now, if you have any message for the Black Americans, what would that be?
If I have any message for Black Americans, at the end of the day, we are all one people, and Africans are very loving and welcoming people. So if you guys want to come to Africa, you're very much welcome to come and explore this great continent.
One thing I can tell Black Americans is that home is where the heart belongs, and you'll always be welcome to come, live, or visit Africa. You won't find incidences at you've been killed or you've been shot because you're Black in Africa. When you're Black, you're actually Africa, you're home. So welcome if you want to come and visit.
Thank you, sisters.
Thank you so much for having us.
Very fine. My name is Faith.
Faith.
Yes. I'm here in Nairobi for studies. I do fashion design.
So, sister,
Yes.
are you aware of Black Americans?
Black Americans, yeah, I'm aware of them.
What do you perceive when you hear the name Black Americans? What comes into your mind first?
Okay, when I think of Black Americans, most people say that Black Americans, these are Black people who went to America, but according to my perspective, it is that Black Americans, these are natives or citizens I can say citizens who moved from Africa due to one or two reasons and went to America, maybe for studies, maybe for work, and they got kids.
So, who is an African according to you?
An African. Okay. According to me, Africans, these are, I can say these are people from Africa who are born, yes, they're born in Africa, they live in Africa. You can see there are also other people from other continents who are interested in Africa a long time ago, and they decided to come to Africa, and that coming to Africa, they interacted. Okay, they made Africa their home. Yes, that's what I can say. Personally, I can say that I love them, but not that much. I've not interacted with them, that is. So I cannot say that I love them that much, like I love those who are in Africa. But when I come to interact with them, I can say that maybe when I get to interact with them, I can love them more than I do right now.
So what do you think will happen when African Americans are welcomed to Kenya?
When African Americans,
When they are brought to Kenya and they start living here?
they start living here,
Yes.
I can say that they can be treated. Yeah, the treatment they will be given will be very good, because Kenyans. Okay, I can say Kenyans value more people from the outside than from those within Kenya. Okay, you can say like a Black American to come here right now. That person will be given high treatment, like more than the person who lives in Kenya. So I can say that the Black Americans coming to Kenya, there are advantages and there are disadvantages.
Tell us, Kenya.
Okay, the disadvantages is that the people in Kenya, those who are ranked very high, might kind of be, they will see as if they are kind of ranked. Yes, and the Black Americans will feel like they're the ones who own the country. You can see, like they're the ones who are superior in the country. And also the advantages is we can learn more from them. We can learn their culture, because you can see they're from America. So the things that they learned in America, they come with it to Kenya. They teach the Kenyans. Teaching the Kenyans will be a very great advantages, because you can see where we are in Kenya right now. I can say we need to learn more. We need to interact with other people so we can learn more about their culture and also grasp it and try to cope with it. Yes.
So are there any opportunities and contribution that African Americans are bringing to African countries?
opportunities, opportunities that African American bring to other countries in Africa. Yes, I can say others. One thing may be studies, work. Maybe those who are in America, we can find they're not treated equally, they're not treated fairly. So they come to Africa where they feel they're at home, they're treated equally, they're treated the way they feel at home. Yeah. And also, okay, there are studies, there are jobs. Because I can say in Africa, we don't discriminate. Most countries don't discriminate. But you can see when in America you hear, oh, they're discriminated. Those black Americans can't do this, can't do that. So that's this discrimination make them come to Africa where they can interact freely, do anything, where when they come to Africa, they feel Africa as if they're at home.
Have any message for the Black Americans? What would that be?
A message to the Black Americans, I can say I can tell them, welcome to Africa, where Africa, this is our home country, this is our home. We say Africa, our motherland. So all I can say is that whenever they feel they are lonely, they are lost, they want a place to relax, a place to enjoy, welcome to Africa. Yes, that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bro, are you Native African?
I'm Native African by blood, by color, by culture.
Okay, so these questions are not based only on Kenyan country. These questions are based on Africa in general, be it Ghana, be it Gambia, be it Tanzania, whichever. The answers apply to everybody in every country. Yes. So, bro, I'm going to ask you the first question. Number one, what are your thoughts on the historical and present experience of Black Americans in the USA?
First, I'd like to recognize African Americans as our brothers. And however much the journey might be so painful, but we are glad for them who are making steps to coming back to Africa. And what I will say that the journey was so painful because our brothers were taken from us, and they might think that it doesn't hurt us, but it also hurt us as Africans, seeing our brothers having problems with racial discrimination, you understand that, and the systemic racism that is happening in America right now. So the journey was so painful. However, we could recognize some things that African Americans did great to the Americans, because they're the people who have built American. We have to recognize that. So the journey has been so painful, but at the end of it, there is a light, because they are the ones who have led to the development of America up to date. Be it culture, be it music, the music industry, the hip hop that we hear, Yes, so the journey has been so painful, but at the end, it's there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The same development that they put in America, we also want it in Africa. Yes.
Okay. So I have the second question. What stereotypes do you think Africans have towards African Americans?
The stereotype that we have about African Americans is most of Africans think that we are different with them, and they take African Americans as people who are rude, especially the way the movies portray them. The N word, you understand that? The N word, the B word. So we
have B.
Yeah, the BITCH. Yes, the words that they use and the slangs. So they most of Africans tend to feel that they are rude. I want to recognize the fact that their life and inside America has made them to be that way, and that's not rudeness. It's just their code of communication. When I call you bro, that's how we talk in Kenya. But those people, they call themselves N-word, you know,
Yeah,
and it's not a bad word. So such kind of stereotypes have also been engaged with African Americans, and also they have also been seen as people who, theft cases, you know, people having guns, and the neighborhood of LA and New York, people are not, you know, you understand that kind of life.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
But those people are so peaceful people.
Yeah.
That's what I can say as a Kenyan, as an African, as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to you, what stereotype do you have towards them, or your head?
I got no stereotype, bro. I got no stereotype against them because
So bro here does not have a stereotype against Black Americans.
yeah, I got no stereotype because one,
Do you have any Black American brother or friend?
I have
or
a
sister?
friend. I have a friend, but right now he's in Kigali. Right now he's in Kigali. Maybe he'll come next week. We'll talk and hang out.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have stereotype against them because I understand the environment in which they are bred. Yeah. Because you see, in as much as we see them as Africans, but foundationally they are Americans, and you understand that we might have something switching different. It might also be visible in their communication forms and also their culture, and I have no problem with that, bro.
It's okay, bro. Let's move to the next one. So in what ways do you think the Western media shapes the perception of Black Americans in the continent of Africa?
Bro, they have been selling us a lot of lies.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Because you go to movie right now and choose any African American movie, you will see things to do with guns. You'll see things to do with drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, and they've also made things like hip hop to look like a gangster thing. You know, hip hop is a peaceful thing. You know, do you know J. Cole?
No.
J. Cole is an African American artist who sings hip hop and rap. Then the messages right
I
there.
know Akon.
You know Akon. Oh, Akon is a pop R&B. Yeah, Akon is a pop. And even if you look at their music, they're so peaceful. The music are so lovely. So even the movies, the way they portray them, I've met African Americans and I've talked to them, and they are not the way the Western media portray them. And they are our brothers, and we want them back in Africa because that's where they belong. Yes.
So what similarities do you think is there between Africans and the African Americans?
The only similarity that's there is color.
Yeah.
However, the similarity that's there is color. Because if an African American is between us, you cannot differentiate who is African and who is African American.
So here I'm having my bro. Hey bro, what's up?
I'm good.
You fine?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for having me today.
So I have a couple of questions to ask you about African Americans moving back to Africa.
Okay, no problem. Let's roll.
Okay.
Let's start the question.
I see he's so much psyched up.
Yeah.
I bet you'll answer all the questions.
Hopefully.
all right. So bro, do you understand that Black Americans are moving from America to Africa? What is your perspective of this?
Just to answer your question first, I understand they are moving back to the motherland, and my perspective of it is that it's okay for them to do that because they are trying to reconnect back their ancestry, and it's time that they know where they came from. So it's a nice move.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the second question, how do these migration impact local communities in African countries?
How the migration impacts local communities. You see, people who've been overseas, they were born there, but they trace back to Africa. So when they come back with the expertise to Africa, the local communities, of course, they'll benefit because people relocating back to Africa, they'll open businesses back here at home. And any local guy who did not have an opportunity, maybe they could get opportunities from
them coming.
Yeah, them coming to Africa.
Okay, thank you, bro. The third question, do you think African Americans returning to Africa helps in building stronger connection between the African diaspora and the continent?
Yeah, there's actually a stronger connection because I do not think there's a bigger connection than somebody knowing where they came from. Imagine you knowing that your great-grandparents, they trace back in Kenya and you're in the US, then you come back to Kenya. I do not think there's a feeling that can be that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have a sub question.
Okay.
It's not part of the list, but would you date an African American woman?
Yeah, I would.
Wow.
I would. There is no problem.
So
There's no problem.
between an African American woman and an African, whom would you choose?
Yeah, that's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends with a lot of variables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people would want a lady because of their physical appearance.
Yeah.
There are some of us who love ladies who are outspoken, ladies who carry themselves well, who are respectful.
Yes.
So irrespective of where they're coming from,
Yes.
we're either an African, a native African, and the African American.
Yes.
Any one of them who matches what I want in a lady,
Yeah.
I'll of course date them.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your perspective.
You're welcome.
More questions.
Okay.
So, are there cultural exchanges or initiatives that celebrate the shared heritage and experience of African Americans and Native Africans? Is there some cultural heritage that we share between us and African Americans?
That's a difficult one because I'll have to go straight and probably give an example.
Yes.
I do not think there are any cultural, how do we say it, heritage or something that they have from Africa, them being overseas, because I understand. Let me give an example of Lil Wayne, just to mention
The
a
musician.
random person, the musician.
Yeah.
He's so westernized. There is no any African culture in him, even from the way he sings. So it's difficult for a person who's born overseas to bring any cultural behaviors of native Africans. They could be one of us, but they've adopted from their parents, their forefathers, and now they are westernized. So it's difficult. I don't think there is anyone who lives in the US and brings African vibes unless the person is born by African parents who in their upbringing were trying to educate them about their background. That could be easier because I've seen even videos online of a Kenyan, let's say, who is in America, and the parents have taught her Luo. Luo is a tribe in Kenya, Africa.
Nilotic tribe.
Yeah, Nilotic tribe, and they know Luo, and they've never been to Africa. So it depends. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, brother. So what challenges, if any, do you think African Americans face when relocating to Africa, and how can this be addressed?
I think the main challenge they may face relocating back to the motherland is probably the infrastructure here in Africa is a little bit, it's a little bit third world kind of infrastructure, unlike where they've come from. So you're coming from New York, and everything that the New York offers, then you come to Nairobi. Of course, there'll be a little bit of backlog. Yeah. You're in certain point in life, but it feels like you're going back. But at the same time, they should take it as an opportunity for them to rise the motherland to be in the top level. Yeah.
How do you think Black Americans will act if they get to Africa?
I think they'll be so happy because I do not think there is a better place than the motherland. There is nothing that can be the motherland.
Yes.
In America, you wouldn't go to a park and find the big 5 animals. In Africa, people are so social. You greet anyone in the roads. In these big countries, people are busy doing their businesses. Here in Africa, we greet each other randomly in the roads. We have a lot to offer. Nature is amazing. In Kenya, just to be specific, we have a national park
in the city,
in the capital, the nature capital. So you can imagine, who wouldn't love that?
It's
Tracing
so
back to Kenya.
True.
Yeah.
So between Ghana and Kenya, which country do you choose for Black Americans?
I'd advocate for them to come back, to come visit Kenya, because our president himself is really trying to help the Black Americans find their roots back in Africa, and I think they'll be welcomed with a big hug because our president is trying to open doors for any black person outside of Africa because we've seen initiatives before. It's trying to make Kenya visa-free for all countries in the world.
True.
So you can imagine a black person from the US who wouldn't accept you. So Kenya for me.
Do you know when the visa-free is effective?
I do not know the actual date, but I think it's something that the Kenyan president is working on.
Yeah, sure.
And it's something that should happen soon. He says that the human remains were first found
It's true.
in Kenya. In what was the name of the place?
Kariandusi near Gilgil.
Kariandusi near Gilgil. That's in Kenya. So he said we traced first here. The first fossils of human beings were found in Africa and in Kenya. So he says you do not need a visa to come back home where we all came from. So it's a big initiative, and I think Kenya will be a country to look for all black Americans.
So to summarize, bro, will you welcome black Americans to your house?
Myself, I would. I think I'll be happy if someone is able to know where they came from. Yeah. If I'd be happy if someone who's never been with a brother before, having a brother close to him. If I'm the brother, then why not? So I can host black Americans in my small space.
Yeah. What about a gay African American?
I do not have problem with I do not have problems with the how is it called, sexual orientation. Yeah.
But Africans don't support that.
Of course, we do not support it, but myself, I believe in love and accepting people the way they are. It's not in our cultural, it's not in the nature of Africans to support such things, but for me, they came, they were trying to get their roots in Africa. When they get the opportunity to come, why should we not support them and help them try and get their ancestry? So when they come, I notice that I'm hosting like a gay person. For as long as I'm not affected with a sexual orientation, if he's not trying to seduce me, then I am not in any manner opposing what they are standing for. For as long as they are happy, I'm happy to. But it's not affecting me directly.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
So I want you to look at the camera and give a message to the black Americans.
To anyone watching this video, you're a black American, you're in the US or let's say any other country overseas, and you'd want to come back to the motherland. We as Kenyans welcome you to trace your ancestry in Kenya, and that will be the best decision that you've ever done. Imagine coming to a place where you're not judged for your color, everyone looks like you. There's no any better feeling than that. So welcome back to the motherland.
Thank you. Just finished the interviews, and so these subjects that I've just met them, these are the people who are waiting for me to interview them. So I'm here in Kenya, the Kenya Cultural Center. These are places where content creators meet. We have cultural activities which are basically Africa happening here. So that's all. I hope that if you have any comments, if you have any